All right, welcome back to Planet Zoo here on the channel. Okay, so today we are going to get in here and start working on the fallow deer exhibit, which is going to encompass this region over here. We're going to have two main viewing. One is going to be a pond viewing area, which is going to be right here, and then the next will be more of a cabin type viewing deck right over here. So let's get in here and get this built. I am basing this loosely off of the Pair-to-Be deer exhibit at the Bronx Zoo. Which is probably one of the best deer exhibits that you're going to find. Most of them are rather boring. That's just kind of the nature of what they are. It's just kind of, yeah. I mean, it's a dirt paddock because they're going to eat everything. And what they don't eat, they're going to trample. And it's, yeah. That's kind of it, really, for a deer exhibit. You really can't have a whole mess of different stuff because they're not going to use it because they're deer. That mostly works. Set down a little bit further. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Alright, let's see if we can make the path cooperate with the, oh, with the danged water here. Let's see, we're gonna go like this, and then we're gonna go up. And yeah, that's how we do it. And as you can see, I have the height of the path sufficiently above the water that it doesn't interfere, which is nice because it tends to, otherwise it's going to interfere and it's going to be a pain, and just don't let it be a pain. Make it tall enough that it clears the water, and then there won't be an issue. And then I should, famous last words, be able to take that out, put that back in. No issues. I could do the same thing with the path. I could edit, remove the path, and it will work and behave itself, which is just great. Do I want to use a blueprint fence in here? Alright, so there are some really awesome fence packs on the workshop, and I want to see if any of these will be usable for what I... Ooh, this is nice. Right here. Let's use this. I love using items off the workshop. It's just one less thing that I have to build. And what I'm going to do is match the rest of the architecture of this little viewing deck to this particular fence once I get it lined up correctly. Now, is it too tall is the question. We'll incorporate that into the design. Yeah, kind of like that. But I really only want this to be about waist high. Where is our archer? If you don't know about this piece, very, very useful piece. Find it on the workshop. It's one of the most popular downloads. Basically, this thing is the size of a guest. I mean, it's a little taller than I would like. Okay, well, let's edit it. So, as much as I like the cross beams, I'm going to take them out. Move that down like that. And I'm going to take these. Duplicate down. And down again. Perfect. It's just slightly off. Just a tiny little bit, and it's just enough to be really annoying. Let's do that, and then one more. So this is a really good example of how to use workshop items in your build, but to incorporate them in a way that makes them your own. And you always should try for that. I'm actually going to scoot that all the way over. There's nothing wrong with using an item off the workshop and using it straight away. If you're doing any kind of, content creation, you should probably credit the person who made it, and I will drop a link to that big fence pack down in the description, assuming I remember. I'm going to try to remember to do that because, yeah, it's cool. It's awesome. Alright, so I just want to go around the sides. I thought I turned angle snap on. Yeah, that looks nice. Wondering if, of course, it's a little bit late for that, but I'm wondering if I want to add a little bit of maybe chain link fencing into this bottom section. Just to, keep the kiddos from slipping through there. I mean, it is a deer exhibit. It's not like it's wolves or something. But use that merge into group function. Just kind of cuts down on the amount that you have to do, so that looks nice. I don't know. I've already done quite a bit. That'll be a lot to... Oh, let's see what it looks like. The thing is, you can always go back. You can always get rid of something if you build it and it just doesn't work for you. That's fine. You just put it, just put it aside for later, delete it. There's no reason to keep something, and this is in franchise or sandbox, that you don't like. You know what? I like that. Are there any longer? 2? No, that's huge. No, I want the mesh. Oh, now I am wishing that I had gone ahead and done this before, because now I have to go all the way around with every single one. Seriously? I canceled that instead of duplicating it? Build. There we go. Okay, let's make this easier. Put it into a group. Duplicate. Alright, that works pretty well. Alright, so this is just going to be an open air viewing area for them. And then over this way is going to be the kind of closer encounter cabin type area. So we're going to kind of put that over here. Make a pad for it. Then I'm going to come in with the path. Do I like that? We're going to go align to grid. I kind of like that. I'll make that a little bit longer. Yeah, that works. So I want this to be a somewhat rustic looking cabin, but also kind of somewhat new as well. This would be a new addition. They've gotten rid of the chain link and dirt paddock that you're usually going to see for an ungulated exhibit. And it's actually going to be something that you want to go and visit now. I don't know why I'm putting windows on that side. I want that roofing? Sure, why not? That doesn't look too bad. So I am one who always forgets to put roofs on their buildings. I don't know why, but I never get around to it, so I'm making a point to actually put the roof on it. So continuing with our rustic theme here. Turn off angle snapping. Really? Oh, that's fun. That's better. I don't know why it does that for some reason. Every now and then it just does weird things. It wouldn't align to the group from the world correctly. It's just one of those Planet Zoo fun little bug things. Bet it'll do it with this one too. Yeah. Yep, it's just slightly off. Okay, whatever. I'm just going to ignore that little bit of annoyance there. Okay. Alright, that looks good. And to keep some continuity through the entire build, I'm going to take our rustic stone wall, bring the height down, and use this for a little bit of a foundation. There we are. You know what? That's better. Kind of. It works. Alright, so there's our little viewing cabin. Let's put the glass in. Glass pane, there we go. So for this I use align to grid. Or align to surface, not align to grid. It just makes it so that the glass aligns to the wall that it's being set in. That way you don't have to try to eyeball something like this. Oh my god, what did I do? Okay, I know what I did. I hit that one. Don't do that. Why did I do that? Because I'm building while tired. That is why I'm doing that. Actually, I want to try to get this video done here and get the next one done. I have 3 days off in a row because of the holiday here in the US, which, yay! I haven't had 3 days off in a row since like last year sometime. So, awesome. Gonna get some game time in. And gonna get some rest and maybe even work on some mods, which will be fantastic. Okay, so this little cabin, you'd have some education in here. Little close-up viewing areas, so you'd probably stick some enrichment close by. Now let's get our fencing in. I'm just gonna use chain link. Coming off of here. We're gonna kind of cut this off of the path just a little bit because I don't want people stopping to stare directly from the path. Oh, stop it. I'm gonna switch to null barrier. Got just a little bit further. It's too close to either path or something. There we go. Now it's happy, kind of. And we're just gonna run this back here a ways because I want this to be a nice big open area for them. I want them to have some little wooded areas where they can go to kind of get away from the guests if they need to. And then null barrier, because null barrier plays nicely with the paths. Alright, so that is the start of our fallow deer habitat. This flat pad back here will make a nice barn. I'm going to use the Arctic wood pieces for this. Just because I want this to look kind of old. so that's going to be the base, kind of the base of the barn here. Fairly simple. These are just going to be like large front-end stalls. Sometimes I go ahead and make like actual functional doors and stuff on them, but I'm not going to do that. Just because, well, that gets a little tedious after a while. Okay, seriously. There. And the smart way to do this would be to build half of the building, then duplicate that. But I don't really do anything the smart or easy way the first time. I always think of that later on. And go, whoops, well that would have been easier. And we'll go ahead and use the Arctic roof as well. Well, this is kind of an extensive barn for deer. And you could probably house giraffes in this thing. Well, it's fine. We can build big things. Building big things is fun. Building small things with a lot of detail is tedious. Alright, so putting the eaves on is just a nice little touch to help. Gonna bring it together. Oh, that's cute. I noticed my roof is slightly off because I messed with the grid height. Let's see if the eaves will hide it. Oh, yes, it will. That's fine. So, was it necessary to... Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Okay. So, this has to get fixed. Fun. There. Now, be smart about it. Duplicate it over. Alright, that works. It looks quite nice. Finish up these sides here. Not going to do a crazy amount of detail on the actual barn. I just want it to be a functional structure and kind of a centerpiece for this part of the zoo as well. Something like this would be like a historical structure. Probably has a name. Alright, there's that. Alright, not quite. Forgot one little spot here. Okay, now our deer have some shelter. I'm gonna fix the barrier so that they can actually come in here. Pull that right up to there. All of this. Come on. All of that's going to be a null barrier. Actually, if I just redo this, will be quicker than moving each individual piece. Because it's a null barrier, it doesn't have to be perfect. Also, because this is Sandbox with escapes disabled, it doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, there we go. Get some terrain paint in here. Alright, let's put some deer in, and then we will start with all of the fun planting. Fallow deer. And I want a decent sized herd here. That'll do. I think all I have in here is fallow deer. Invalid destination. Oh yeah, I forgot to put on a habitat gate. That'll do it. Yeah, your habitat needs a habitat gate to be functional. Just gonna run this off through the woods, back around to connect into here in a very unpretty way, but it's fine. It's fine, we won't see it, we won't look at it, so I don't need to think about it. Right now, deer, go in, unpause the game. So the way I like to do the landscaping in a habitat is I get in a little bit of terrain paint first, then I like to put in the rocks. Every habitat needs rocks. I usually turn off align to surface, turn on random rotation, and throw a few rocks in here. Just here and there, sink them into the ground at different heights. And here come our deer. That's probably enough. These aren't ibex, they don't need everything, which do to the inside, also do to the outside. There we go. Okay, we have our deer in. Why is everything flickering over here? Huh. That's annoying. Oh, the fence is doing it too. Wonderful. I'm gonna go to Europe, temperate, and taiga. I love these London plain. They are very nice. But I think What I want to do is make this almost like an old olive grove, olive orchard. So I'm gonna kind of have these be sort of in rows. Like, it looks artificial, but that's kind of the point. It's like maybe in the fallow deer habitat we're preserving this old, not growing the tree directly out of the fence, this old olive orchard here. Make this kind of a Grecian or Italian style habitat. I'd like to see them move around a little bit more. There they go. So I like to do clusters of plantings in habitats like this, and also kind of looking at the Bronx Zoo Pair to Feed Deer exhibit. That's kind of what they have as well, is like clusters of plants that maybe aren't palatable to the deer, or they for some reason leave alone. So for these are brambles. Deer are probably going to leave the brambles alone. I love this old olive tree. It is so cool. It's just so cool. And then we're going to have loads and loads of planting up around the edges. We're not going to have floating trees though, and I'm going to delete the right one. Kind of hides the fence line a little bit. One thing I don't use very often are the cypresses. But I think I'm going to use them right here. I'm going to take out this one and that one. And I'm just going to kind of line the path with these. Oh, I like this. Yeah. I like that a lot. Little spur of the moment idea. So just, you get an idea. Don't be afraid to try it. If it doesn't work, you take it out. If it works, cool. You found something neat. Like this, I had no idea that I wanted to use cypress trees here. I don't necessarily really like the in-game cypress trees. But these are just turning out perfect. Yeah, I like that a lot. Oh, the dog rose bushes. Again, to build that continuity, you have something on the outside, think about adding it to the inside, assuming that it fits with what you're going for. The dog rose fits really, really well. So I'm gonna Just liberally put it in there. Ooh, I like this. Then you have to come into the viewing. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. Those are floating. I don't care. I don't care that they're floating. I'm going to ignore that and pretend I didn't see that. Let's get them some enrichment so that they'll play around a little bit more. If you just type in the animal's name, they will, their enrichment will pop up. Give them a couple of scratching trees. Some grab balls. And because I want them to come over here to use this area, I'm gonna put some herb scent. There, now you can get a nice close view with the deer. Yeah, so very simple, but already looking really, really good. They have shelter, and they can actually get in there. Yes, they can. Sometimes the hitboxes are really, really weird, and you think you've built a door big enough, and it looks totally big enough. It looks bigger than it ought to be, and they can't get in there for whatever stupid reason. The beech sapling makes a really good bush. Don't be afraid to sink trees into the ground to create different effects. Should probably finish the back of that. So to add a little bit of realism, think about how grass in like a park grows. If you have like really heavy canopy of trees, grass doesn't grow as well. So if you come in here under these trees and take out the really long grass, it just looks a little bit more realistic. Let's kind of hide this fence line a little bit here. I kind of despise chain link fencing, especially in zoos, but it really does work for this. Hide the habitat gate. That's maybe a little much. But this is very indicative of what you would see in a ungulate exhibit at a zoo. Kind of basic. Probably some exposed fencing. Not going to have grottos or rock walls or crazy like security fencing. It's going to be kind of plain because I mean they're deer. What can they do? You know, you're just going to kind of look at them and then move on to the next thing. Put a little color in here in places. Put some azaleas up in here. A little bit more terrain painting. few more trees. I do want this to be all nice and shady. I've forgotten to add any Aleppo pines, and I just love these, so I'm going to add a few. Yeah, we'll just kind of ring the back with some of these. That should kind of frame that nicely. Oh, yes. Oh, that's quite nice. Oh, I like it. All right. So I think I'm gonna call this one good, at least for now. I might come back and add a little bit of detailing here and there. This one came together really, really quickly. Excellent. Deer exhibits are just wonderful space fillers. So if you have a big chunk of land in your zoo, you don't know what to do with it, stick some deer in there. Some reindeer, some fallow deer, whatever we got. All right. Yeah, I think that these ones are going to be done. I'm really, really liking this. I mean, look at that guy. I think there's the screenshot for the thumbnail. Looks just wonderful. Yeah, I think I am actually going to call this episode here. Just a little bit shorter than the previous ones, but the entire thing was done in real time. So if you guys have enjoyed this one, please feel free to leave it a like, comment down below, let me know what you think. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. I do try to post content somewhat regularly. I'm not great about that, but life does get in the way sometimes. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.